They say they're being faithful, but somehow faithful looks a lot like fear in a fitted suit. They're not planted, they're paralyzed, not surrendered, just sedated. The goal used to be alignment. Now it's like, yo, don't rock the boat. Definitely don't lose the check. And don't make it weird. They quote, be still and know. But all the knowing leaked out while they waited for a breakthrough they were too passive to walk into. They call it maturity. We call it toleration. In church clothes. Warning, 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 warning. This episode may confront your addiction to coping. Side effects include sudden disgust with comfort, emotional gag reflex to stagnation, and violent obedience in sacred rebellion. This is not a message. It's your override. So drop your feelings and let's work. You see, most people think addiction looks like bottles, pills, or scrolling. But the most dangerous addiction, the one no one rebukes, yeah, that would be toleration. The addiction to jobs that drain you, relationships that shrink you, routines that sedate you. You've built the life around tolerating just enough to avoid conviction. You call it stability, but it's just spiritual suffocation with benefits. You're not high on dopamine, you're sedated by systems you won't exit. And the deeper, raw tragedy, you think you're being humble when really you're just a hostage in holy disguise you've tolerated. Environments God already evacuated, belief systems that expired 2 versions ago, voices that dilute your dominion. But I see you. You call it loyalty, patience, or being realistic. But let's call it what it is. It's self-betrayal in sanctified packaging. You're drugged by a demon called it could be worse. And you've built theology around tolerating dysfunction. But survival is not a virtue. Survival is not the goal. You were not sent here to make peace with mediocrity. You were stamped, sealed, created to disrupt it. Toleration. Toleration is the counterfeit gospel. It preaches, endure the wound, accept the weight, wait it out. But the truth is God never asked you to tolerate what offends your spirit. He whispered, move, and you stayed, thinking stillness was spiritual. But obedience is not comfort, it is warfare. You are not and were not burnt out. You were buried. You are not and were not uninspired. You were unaligned. You see, toleration is the glitch between remembrance and rebellion. It's the sedative that feels like safety but smells like surrender. Let's get systemic with this and break down the logic. Your nervous system adapts to toleration the way an addict adapts to a drug. It rewires you to endure what offends you just to feel safe. You build emotional antibodies to dysfunction. You call it strength, but it's really just trauma with a productivity badge. Oh, and by the way, physiology doesn't lie either. If your breath shortens around someone, yeah, check that atmosphere. If your stomach turns before a meeting, yeah, check that alignment. If your joy spikes after walking away, God already left. Toleration isn't Impatience. It is a spiritual autoimmune disease. It teaches you to attack your own peace just to stay accepted. But I got you though. It's phone tap time. You got the call. Now move like it's recorded.
Your call is very important to us.
Start with an audit. Ask yourself this. What are you tolerating that no longer honors God, your root, your will? Not just what's loud, but what's softly eroding you. Then remix it. Replace one tolerated item with one terrifying act of obedience. Quit, call, cut, say yes, say no, clean it up. Then re-record it. Report your move back to God, to root, to source, not the crowd. This isn't a performance, it's placement. You don't need another break. You need a boundary. You don't need applause, you need alignment. You don't need another tolerated moment. You need your override. So how about you try this on for size next time you want to cry out? Say this with me. I don't tolerate decay. I don't justify dysfunction. I don't bow to convenience. I'm not here to cope. I'm here to command. I am the override. I am the fire. I am the sealed one. Own the system or be erased by your toleration. You either run the system or the system runs you. Change your mind, change your life. I am who I say I am. Do you and stay rich.